Solve the inequality 2x plus 3 over x minus 1 less than equal to x minus 1 over x plus 3. So to solve this rational inequality, the first thing we would like to do is that we rearrange the equation in such that we want to keep the right hand side here, as I highlight here, to become 0. So we will do rearrangement as the next line. We have this term highlighted in green. We rearrange to the left hand side and turn out become 2x plus 3 over x minus 1 minus the green term here, 2x minus 1 over x plus 3 less than equal 0. Then the next thing what we want to achieve here is that we want to have this whole part here I highlighted in blue turn into a single fraction. So in order to turn into the single fractions, we would like to have the common denominator such that we consider these two denominator, x minus 1, x plus 3, as the common denominator. And in here, we shall not expand these two factors here, because somehow later, when the time we decide the answer by using real number line, we need the linear factors. So just leave it in the form here, factorize. So for the case of 2x plus 3, it will turn up to become, if I want to take this as the new denominator, so from x minus 1 become x minus 1 multiply x plus 3, so I need one more part here, x plus 3. Whereas for the case of 2x minus 1, what I need is that originally from x plus 3, I need another x minus 1. So I need to multiply with x minus 1 on the other side. So as a result, it will turn out to have this as the answer. For 2x plus 3, it will pair with x plus 3. For 2x minus 1, it will pair with x minus 1. And the operation between them is minus denominator, as we see just now, x minus 1, x plus 3. Inequality sign, less than equal 0, follow through. Next, what we will do continue is that we would like to simplify the terms that we have that are highlighted in yellow and green on top here. So let us first try to do expansions on the part in yellow. When the time I break the first bracket into two parts, 2x and plus 3, and then I multiply to the second bracket, I will have the result as, so 2x squared plus 6x multiply 3, 3x multiply 3 plus 9 minus, for the part highlighted in green, let me put all the terms that I expand into a brackets. I will have, so same idea, consider breaking the first bracket into two parts, and then I expand into the second bracket separately. So I will have here 2x squared minus 2x. By the time I multiply 2x inside, minus 1 multiply, I get minus 1 plus 1. The denominator, follow through. We don't do any expansion on the denominator, just leave it alone. This is good to leave it alone like this form here. Then next, we try to simplify the terms on top, where we consider the square minus the square, the x term minus the x term, the constant minus the constant. So what we have here is that we begin with the x squared terms. When the time I have 2x squared minus 2x squared, it turns out become 0. So there's no more x squared terms. For x term, I have here 9x minus negative 3x. So it turned out that the result I have positive 12x. For constant, 9 minus 1, I have the result as 8. Then the rest of the part just follow through. And once I reach until this moment here, I can start to consider, go for number line solutions, because as you can see now, it's already fulfilled the form that I have the right hand side 0, single fractions, completely factorized into linear factors. So I shall go for the next step for solving using real number line methods. And one more extra thing I want you to take note is that for the 12x plus 8 here, it is alright that we don't simplify it by dividing both sides before, because as long as it is a linear factors, it is good enough to proceed further for using number line. So in here, I will go on with number line method where I start with assumption let. I make assumption for each of these linear factors here, I would like to have them to be greater than 0, greater than 0, greater than 0. And for your informations, if you notice, how come some of them have equal sign, some of them without? Is that whenever I find out that on my inequalities here, I have equal sign, then always the top part, the numerators, I should follow through have equal sign. And the denominators, they shall never ever equal to 0, because it will turn out to be undefined. And the next thing I would like you to observe is that the inequalities, although here is happen to be less than, but in the let assumption, I will always do greater. I will always make greater assumption because we are always making positive assumptions. Then next, for each of these, we continue by simplifying it. I have x greater equals to negative 2 over 3, x greater than 1, x greater than negative 3. Using these three inequality from our assumptions, we will proceed with drawing a number line and find out the solutions by checking the sign. So let us continue with the number line. So in the number line, first I need to know what is the marking that I need, the borderline that I need, where I will referring to this numbering that I have from the assumption, and I will arrange them accordingly in the number line. Start from the smallest, negative 3, negative 2 over 3, and also 1. And this will construct the borderline for the interval that evolve in our considerations for answer later, where we have first, second, third, and fourth interval to consider. Next, we insert the number line accordingly. So for the first case here, greater equals to negative 2 over 3. So I should have a then circle. Greater, so the arrow will all the way to the right hand side. With the assumption greater than 0, whichever that I have line, I will have plus sign. Without line, I will have minus, because we're making positive assumption here. Next, for the case of greater than 1, so I will have an empty circle on 1, and then the arrow greater, so all the way to positive infinity also. Once again, positive assumption. So with line is plus, without line is minus. Then the last one, I have the case of greater than minus 3. So on top of minus 3, I have empty circle. Greater, so all the way to positive infinity as well. The sign with line is plus, without line is minus. I need to make sure I consider all 4 intervals for each of the case. Then continue. For conclusions, we combine the sign accordingly. So minus, 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 I have the result of minus. Plus, minus, minus, plus. Plus, minus, plus, minus. Plus, 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 I have plus. And reach until here. Now refer to this part here, which is the conclusion. Which is the conclusions. We would like to know whether we are taking plus or minus, and how we decide that is refer back to the very last part before we go for number line. We are asking for less than 0. So we are asking for negative. Less than 0, we are looking for negative. So the solutions, we will refer to these 2 intervals here. And therefore, to get the answer, if I want to give the answer in the form of interval notations, so the answer will be written as from negative infinity, open bracket negative infinity, to negative 3, and refer to the circle here. It's an empty circle, so it will be open bracket, a round bracket, union, the second interval here, from minus 2 over 3 to 1. For minus 2 over 3, we have close. For 1, we have open. So this is by interval form. In set notation, so we will have the answer written as a curly brackets, colon. For each of these interval here, we will write it in inequality form, where I have x less than minus 3 or minus 2 over 3 less than equal x less than 1. Then close the curly bracket. And in here, for set notation, make sure you don't use the symbol of union, but we write the word or only. So therefore, this is a solution for these rational inequalities.